Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I am here with week number 4 of the Christmas in July 2025 YouTube Hop, hosted by Beck, who's Beck's Crafting World 2, and Leslie, who is Mermaid Cove Studio, here on YouTube. Now, I hope you guys have been enjoying the last 3 weeks. This week is absolutely gorgeous. You're going to love the projects that you see. I hope that you have found a new crafter that you like by hopping to the people in the description box. There's some really great talent in there. So definitely subscribe and like. We would like you to subscribe and like everyone, if you would. Show us some love, right? So this week, week 4, is Planners, Traveler's Notebook, Folios, Mini Album, December Daily. Any of the combination of those. I did a folio, surprise, and December Daily all in one. So this is what it looks like. She's big. She's 9 1/4 by 8 3/4. Here's the back. I triple mat it because, that leaves a big border because, it's bigger than the 8.5 by 11 paper, right? So I just wanted to make sure that we could get a nice matting going on there. Okay, so I came up with this folio because I do love watching other people's December dailies, but during Christmas time, I get super, super overwhelmed just with the hustle and bustle of Christmas. I'm allergic to pine and cinnamon. It just messes, with my allergies so bad. So I'm miserable pretty much starting in November until about mid-January. And, when people start throwing out their pine trees and stuff like that. But anyway, I just can't focus on way overactive mini albums or December dailies. People do amazing, amazing December dailies. This one is simple. She's beautiful. She's underwhelming in such a great way. Okay. So we're going to open it up. And right here is our 2-page layout. It actually is a 3-page, but that's the inside. We have beautiful paper. Showcase your paper. This is Echo Park Christmas time. You can do this any theme. It does not have to be a December daily. This holds roughly, if you just do all pictures, roughly 50 4x6s, maybe a few more. And then if you add 2x3s, if you add pockets, whatever you want to do, obviously you're going to add more pictures into your book. So here I just left it blank. You can add your cut apart, you can add your stickers. I haven't decided if I'm going to give this away or if I want to keep this for myself. So I haven't decorated. I just left everything plain Jane right now. So we start off here. This is how the book is going to work. White is where you're going to write your daily prompt. A lot of December dailies, you can get them printed or you can print them from Google. I know in the craft pages, people print December daily, like what's your favorite craft tool? What's your favorite Christmas memory? What's your favorite Christmas movie? You can handwrite this. This is a great way to showcase your handwriting, whether it's good or bad. When you're gone, your kids and grandkids are not going to care that it looks like chicken scratch. They're just going to treasure that memory of your handwriting in this book, okay? Or if you don't want to write, you can type it and glue it in, okay? I did put my white mats and my numbers down with tape runners so they're easy to peel up. If you're handwriting, you mess up, you peel it off and put a new one on, right? But you're going to put your paper here, your picture on the blank side. It's blank. You're going to put your picture and write your thing. David and I was at the Mexican restaurant, blah, 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 blah. So that's that. 1 and 2. Again, picture, words. Right here on this side, same thing. Picture, words, picture, words, or picture, picture, whatever you want to do. Add smaller pictures here, add little trinkets, tickets, whatever. Oh, that's really cute, actually. Yeah, you can do something like that. Whatever you want to do. Just, add some little, there you go. baby's first Christmas. I don't know, right? Add little fun things to it. We're going to come here. It does open up. Here are your other two sections, but we're going to focus on the middle. You guys know I absolutely love, love, love a waterfall. This is what I was saying. She's underwhelming in the best way. You're not getting overwhelmed by a waterfall, right? Because you're just flipping through pictures. Boom, boom, boom. So sometimes you just need that simple, back to basics peace of mind, especially when you're the hustle bustle of Christmas time. You know, you just need that simple. Again, I have gorgeous paper on the cover for two reasons. One, I noticed like on my birthday, my 43 high tea, my pictures kind of got stuck together if I did picture in picture. And so I did paper so that way my pictures don't get stuck together. I don't know why they got stuck here, but they don't get stuck in the waterfall. I don't know. When I say stuck, they kind of, you know, just make a sound. I don't know. And then, so this is how you start off. This is your 5th day. You're putting your picture up here. You're writing your words. And you're flipping through all the way through to you get down to the end, which is your 11th day. And then you're just repeating the process until you're down to your 18th day. Again, picture on the blank side, you don't need to mat. It is a perfect border for your 4x6 pictures. Do not mat those. Double mat your writing if you want to. Honestly, the reason why I double mat it is because there's less to write. Less space. I was thinking about triple matting, but then I was like, that's going to be too heavy. But, you know, sometimes you don't want to write a whole novel. That's the real reason. All right, now our final section is our cascading waterfall. Again, I love a waterfall. I'm going to put as many as I can into one book. This one has a tie closure. I use twine. And this one flips open. Again, your picture, your words. Come up. Your picture, your words. Okay. And then it starts over here. So now you're up to your 22nd day, 23rd, 24th. And your 25th day is in the middle. And you have a 3-page layout. So you can add, you know, whatever you want. You can add 2 pictures. Okay, we're going to pretend this is a picture. You're going to add your 2 pictures. Oh, that's fun shape. We might have to cut our pictures down to that. I like that shape. Anyway, you can add your 2 pictures. You can journal everything. You can add 1 picture, 2 journals, you know, a card that was super special. Cut it out, add it here, or, you know, whatever you want to do that. If I'm giving it away, I'm going to go ahead and put everything like this. So that way it's clear and concise that you're supposed to start like this. Because this way is a little confusing if you don't know. Because you're like, where do I put my picture? Does it go here? Does it go here? You know. But I wanted it, you know, like a zipper effect. All right, and the other thing I wanted to show you with that is this bottom piece. I'm using twine, and so it's pretty thick, right? So what I did was on my gold matting piece, I put it up on pop dots, and so that way you're not feeling or seeing that piece of twine. I put it down with score tape, and then I put foam tape all around, so that way it's nice and smooth. You don't have that hump and bump in that middle. You know, that's not a good look, right? I mean, obviously if you're using flat ribbon, that's not going to matter, but I chose twine. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Now, if you follow your cutting guide, then you have everything already cut and prepped probably. But if you like to cut along, we'll do some cutting together. So for my personal preference, when I'm doing an album or a tutorial that has a ton of waterfall flats needed or whatever, I like to do those first. So For this one, you need, here we go, 18 vertical, which are the 4 1/4 by 6 3/4, scored on the long side at half. Again, measurements are in the description box. And then you need 8 of the horizontal. I mean, we're going to use them vertically, but this is the horizontal measurement. 4 3/4 by 6 1/4, scored on the short side at 1/2 inch. If you are a taper, do yourself a favor, cut these all out, go ahead and add your tape to all of them. If you are a gluer, obviously you're not going to use the tape, right? So go ahead and pause your video here and get all of those ready if you want to do that. Some people like to wait to the end so they can use their scraps from the other cuts to make these, because waterfall, a 4x6 waterfall is not paper friendly. I can only get 3 out of a 12 by 12. Somebody said there's a pinwheel way to get 4, but the only pinwheel way I saw was for 4 1/4 by 6 1/4 mats, and I need, you know, 4 3/4 or 6 3/4, so it doesn't take into account that extra 1/2 inch that we need for the actual flats. I mean, you can do that and then cut hinges or whatever, but I don't have time for that. Alright, so go ahead, and also, here's my Kathy order scrap bin. So I have plenty of scraps to get me sorted. Alright, so I'm going to cut these 2 optional pieces. These optional pieces are, oh my gosh, I keep damaging this flower. My optional pieces are the under piece of my waterfall. I don't always stick the waterfall onto the optional piece. Sometimes I stick it right in the book. These ones were stuck right to the book. That's why the color blocking is the way that it is. See how it's color blocked? Because I stuck the pages right down to the book. But for this case, I am going to go ahead and cut my backing pieces for my waterfall. So I'm cutting 2 at 4 1/4 by 9 1/8. You can size your book a little bit bigger if you don't want your waterfall touching the bottom, but I just felt matting was going to be a pain. You would have had to color block everything because, you know, it's bigger than the measurement paper that I have for the color matting, like the gold and the red. If you're using 12 by 12 paper, you can size it, you know, as big as you want. Alright, so I cut those 2 pieces. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and put our waterfalls down on our paper. I already did one of them. Okay, here's the thing. Give yourself a lot of grace, because your waterfall is not going to match up every time. Look at mine. It's shorter there, shorter on this side. Give yourself some grace. It is okay. No one's going to notice that your waterfall is slightly off unless it's like another crafter, and then we don't, you know, obviously we're not going to really care because we know that you're not going to cut perfectly. You're not going to score perfectly every single time. Now you can go through and force it with your bone folder. Just redo the your score lines to make it fit where you want to. Just do it at the best you can. Give yourself grace, okay? You are not a machine. You are a human person, you know, so you're not going to be perfect every single time. And for somebody who has OCD, that was a hard pill to swallow, but I'm giving myself grace. I mean, it is what it is. Like, that one was perfect. So anyway, so I'm putting mine on the piece of paper that we cut out. And what I like to do is I have to start upside down. I pinch one side, try to make sure it lines up, and then go down. If it doesn't line up, you pull it over, force it to where you need it to go. Okay, so you're going to add 7 pieces to that. And that's 3. Like this one seems bigger than the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like this one looks like it's a little bit longer. I don't know. I don't know what happened. If you put yours down this way, put it down this way. Whichever way you're more comfortable with. I'm just trying both ways out to see which way I like. And see, it's coming over. So what I'm going to do is force it where, see how it's like a little bubble right here? That means that it's not lined up or whatever. I don't care. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You can spend your whole day trying to make these perfect if you want to, but if you tell yourself in the beginning it's not going to be right, then you're fine with it. That one was totally off, but I made it right because no one's going to see. You can't tell that it's that we had to rescore it to force it over to where it needed to be. That one was wrong because I didn't put it all the way onto the left edge. So anyway, see, perfect. Okay, so we have those two done. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's 7 on these ones. So go ahead and pause. Finish doing your other waterfall, and you'll have 4 left over, and that's for your inside flaps. So go ahead and pause the video here and get that done. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and work on my cascading. Now, what I did in the past is I stuck mine, and I don't know if you'll be able to tell, directly to my book. I did not put a piece underneath. I stuck it directly to my book. But I didn't match them up perfectly, and that annoyed me. See how this one is higher than this one? The black piece is higher than the black piece here, and then it's lower down here, right? That, every time I open this, I'm like, oh, that's annoying me. So I'm going to go ahead and cut a piece of paper, which is going to be 8 by 6 1/4. And I'm going to do the same process, what I did with the other waterfalls. I don't know if it's necessary or not, but that little piece is driving me insane. So I'm going to try it out. Normally I don't do a cascading waterfall on a separate piece, but we're going to go ahead and try it out now. So 6 1/4 by 8. Oh, good. And we're going to try it out that way. If you don't want to do this part, obviously don't. Add your waterfalls directly to your book. The reason why I did the vertical ones on the paper is because I have a very, very tight, it is right at the edge. You can't see it because of the black, but it is exactly 1/8 of an inch from the bottom. I don't know if you can see it. You can't really see the difference on camera, but it is 1/8 of an inch difference, and I didn't want to go over the bottom of my book, and so that's why I did it on these papers to make sure when I laid it down it's not going to be too far down. Alright, so long side on the top, and we're going to use our vertical, or I mean, technically this is the horizontal position, but we are putting them vertically. So we're using our 8 4 3/4 by 6 1/4 scored on the short side at 1/2 inch. And I got to turn mine to where the short side is on the bottom, because I work from the bottom. Okay. So I'm putting that exactly at the end. And it's 4 on each side. I think I'm liking this because now I can control that they match. And I don't have to... Oh, that one's way over. Oh, no, 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 no. Of course. Of course. Well, now you guys get to see how undo works. I ripped my paper because I pulled it before the undo. But what I was saying is this is entirely too long. This needs to be 6 1/4. See, it was that much over 6 1/4. So it was way longer than my other piece. Why? Probably because I was watching TV. That's what I was saying. Give yourself grace. Treat yourself like you're a stranger or a newbie just starting. And what will you say to them? You know, you're not going to mean girl someone just starting out. So why are you mean girling yourself? Be nice. Yes, I'm saying that to me, not so much to you guys, because I mean girl myself all the time. It is really bad. Okay. So there's that. So, and here's the thing. If you don't want the cascade, just keep going, and then you just have just a waterfall going this way. But I love the cascade, and so I'm going to go ahead and put my papers starting on the opposite end. I think it just looks nicer because I have that big old space to fill, right? So we might as well utilize it. Okay. So anyway, so you're just going to continue on. You're going to build your cascade or your waterfall, whichever way you want it. Change it up. Do one book one way, another book another. I should have did this one the other way so you guys can see the difference, but I didn't. Okay. All right, so your waterfalls are done-ish. Okay. All right. There's my cascade. Done, done, done. Or if you wanted all of yours all going the one direction, then do it all in the one direction. But I do like that paper, so let me put that on the instructions because I do like that. It's so much cleaner. Okay, put these aside. Now let's go ahead and work on the main part, which I didn't write the measurements down for myself. Okay, we need 2 pieces that are 10 by 9 1/4. So, oh man, I'm gonna have to order more paper. I use Kathy King Paper Phenomenon paper. Shipping's a little expensive, I'm not gonna lie. That's the only thing I don't enjoy about it. But I pay the shipping because I really love this paper. So, you know, it is what it is. Alright, so 2 10 by 9 1/4. I'm going to go ahead and cut 2 at a time. By 9 1/4. Okay. And on the long side, we are going to score it at 1/2 inch. Excuse my arm. And 1 1/4. Measurements are in the description box. Okay. can't score two at the same time. Well, you can, but then the second one is like really faint. 1 1/4. So 1/2 inch, 1 1/4. And our next piece of paper is going to be cut 8 3/4 by 9 1/4. Oops. This is why my papers don't come out even all the time, because I'm going to show you over here to the right. Hold on, let me get this. Look. Because I have my paper trimmer on top of everything, so it's not flat. So that's why my cuts are off. Because I do that. Am I going to change that? Nope. Why? Because I don't pay attention to that stuff until it's too late, until I'm like, why is my paper not adding up? Well, lay your paper trimmer flat and you'll have perfect cuts. Simple, right? Anyway. Alright, on my two 10 by 9 1/4, I am putting the tape on the inside, or the bumpy side. The side with the raised score line. If you put it on the other side, it really doesn't matter. But your paper folds nicer. The paper phenomenon paper fold nicer if you pay attention to your bumpy and your dented side, which I didn't do before because I didn't know. I thought she was talking about the texture of the paper, because her old paper, one side was smooth and the other side was bumpy. So I thought that's what she was talking about. But no, she's talking about the score line. Okay. Now that we got that clarified again. I know, I think I say that like every video, but I don't know if this is your first time watching me or your 100th and first time watching me. So, and it's awkward silence. I'm just talking. Okay. I don't have, my dogs passed away, and so I used to talk to them when I was crafting, and now I'm essentially talking to myself. You know, anyway. Okay, so now I'm going to take one of my pieces, the 10 by 9 1/4, and I'm going to attach it to my other 10 by 9 1/4, like so. No overhang. I'm going up to the score line. We're not passing it. We're not touching it. We're going up to that score line. Okay. And then we're taking the piece, the 8 3/4 by 9 1/4, and we are attaching it here. You can do this method if this makes you more comfortable, where you have like a little piece sticking out, and then you pull it. If that makes you more comfortable, do it that way. Okay. Alright, so for me, this is going to be my front flap. It doesn't matter. Some people don't like the seam on their front flap, so just take your inside piece, put it on top, rotate your book, okay? And then now that piece is the inside piece. I don't care, because you're going to cover it anyway, so it doesn't matter, okay? That's it with your cover. That's all that is. And now what we're going to do is take our waterfalls. And like I said, these two, they're a tight fit up in here. Okay, it is a tight fit. Because I wanted to make sure that I can mat with the gold. And that's 8.5 by 11. And so I had to sacrifice something, right? So it is a tight, tight fit. All you see is this little 1/8 of an inch between the two. And a tiny little black border above and in the bottom, like less than 1/8 of an inch, like 1/16 of an inch on the top and the bottom. So it's up to you if you want to mat in between there. This one I did, because I wanted to make that middle piece extra sturdy, I did mat the entire piece with the gold. Actually, I think I just matted the inside middle, but I wanted it to be substantial because, you know, this is holding a lot of weight. Pictures are heavy. They are very heavy. So the more matting you do on the base pages, that's going to hold the weight and help your little fold lines on your spine, because it would be devastating if your spines rip off, right? So we want the back of the papers to take the weight, which that's why I mat it under here and on the back. I think I triple mat it. I might have double mat it. I triple mat it because, you know, EcoPart paper is thick. So that weight is mostly on the back. It's not on the spine, I think. You know, somebody said that and that made sense to me. It may be a total lie. I don't know, but it sounded logical to me. All right, so you're going to put that down. Now, for your Cascading Waterfall, you're going to put that directly in the middle, and you have about an inch above and below, and I want to say it's a half an inch on the sides. You can measure. I just eyeballed where I thought mine looked nice, and I set it down. Because this, okay, so this is 8 3/4. This is 8. So yeah, it's about, let me see. It's about 3/8 from the end. So for this one, what I did is I matted the gold on the whole page, and then I laid my Cascading Waterfall down, and then I just matted above and below. I color blocked it. I didn't want to fool with trying to put a 1/4 inch piece here and here, and it looks great just like this. So mat it accordingly how you want. And then the same thing for this side. Before you mat this, you're going to put your magnets, 1, 2, and 3. Put your magnets. Okay, let me pause on that, okay? Because whenever you're getting to triple matting, it's going to interfere with your magnets. And so if you're going to triple mat like I did, put your magnets under your first layer. I guess technically that's your third layer because I have gold, red, and then paper. Put your magnets here. Okay, so that way it's less paper the magnet has to go through, unless you have like super duper strong. I only have small magnets, and so that's why I had to put mine. One is right here underneath the green paper, and then the next one, oh, I didn't put a middle one, and the other one is right here. Okay, do that. The same with this side. That way also you know where you can put your magnets versus where these are, right? Because if I would have put my magnets anywhere closer, this would have interfered, or any further out, it would have interfered with like the red piece and stuff like that. So I would mat first before you put the magnets. You do your 2 layers or your 1 layer or whatever you're doing, and put your magnets under your final layer. You can't see them, you know. Or if you want a tie closure, or you don't even have to have a closure. The book is going to lay flat. It's the exact measurements of the page. It's going to lay flat. You don't really necessarily need magnets. I just like to have that snap. So yeah, so that is the whole album. That is it. Your main time-consuming part is cutting those flaps. But putting it together is super duper easy. Like I said, the only thing you really have to pay attention to is this middle section, waterfall, because you are right at that, the score lines. And what I suggest too is making sure, don't go by this back page, go by your edge here. So if there's one sticking out, make sure it's not on the score line, because you want to still be able to close your book, right? So it may be a little bit off. You may not even have an 1/8 of an inch in the middle, depending on how off your flaps are. Not a big deal. It's not a tragedy. I would suggest doing your layouts like mine, having the heaviest part in the middle, because that's the part that lays the flattest. These this flap and the front flap obviously have to fold up to close the book, so you don't want a lot of weight on there. I do have potentially 16 pictures, but this is strong enough to hold the 16 pictures. It's definitely not strong enough to hold, what is this, 7, 14, 28, 30 pictures. So that's when you got to think about it. You know, if you want this to be horizontal pictures, all horizontal pictures, you can do that too. Actually, that's a cute idea. So you have options. Like I said, you can, when you're doing this, have them all going this way, have them all coming down, put it here, do the cascade. You know, you have options. You can do all of them different, especially if you're giving these out for gifts. Just change this direction up. You know, there's no right or wrong way on how to do this. Just, you know, get it done. I personally don't like to add heavy weighted things on my front flap, because it has to close the book and you have to have your magnets. So I typically decorate very simple, lightweight. I added glossy accents to this. I don't know if I had that on there in the beginning, but I had to add glossy accents because my I kept smushing this flower and the petals were ripping. So it's a little too dainty. I need to add a bigger circle to hold them all down, but I didn't want to. I like that little circle. So I just added glossy accents around the petals and then on the first layer, and I think that looks beautiful. But see, on this side, potentially you have space for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pictures. That's all the weight I want to put on here. I did not add a pocket because of that too. Well, I didn't add a pocket because of the magnet. I guess I could have did a little pocket here or something. I don't know, but I didn't. So anyway, I hope you guys really enjoyed this album. I hope, you know, this makes your December daily, your October daily, I'm probably going to use mine for my birthday. Well, this one down here is going to be for October Halloween gift for my mom's boss. And then I'm going to make another one for every year in January. January 29th is my birthday. And so I do 29 days of me, of just celebrating me, my feelings, some there's like different prompts you can do, birthday prompts. But that's what I'm going to do this for. You know, I'll just have to add some more because it's 29 days. I do it all the way from the 1st to my birthday. So I can add a couple more flips and flaps to get 29 days instead of 25. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. So, all right, guys, definitely hop to the next person. Thank you so much for joining us for this hop. I really hope you appreciate everything that we've done to bring you so much inspiration. Yeah, and thanks for watching, guys. Bye.